Welcome to Land House. I'm Seth. Today I have something fun to share with you. I got the Ruko F11 Pro 2. This is a drone that I will be using to fly around the property here. I had a drone in the past and its controller battery died, and so it's nice to have a new one to be able to fly around with. Before I take this out to fly, let's take a look at the drone, also the remote, and then lastly the battery. We'll charge it up and then go outside and have some fun. So on the gimbal here in the front, there is a protective cover, which I have just removed. There are sensors, as you can see up top, to help to avoid objects. Now the props are foldable, so I can take the short arm first, fold that in, grab the longer arm and fold that back. And as you can see, it will store just like that. Back here on the back is where the battery will slide in. For an example, you can just take the battery and slide that back into place. We won't click it in until it's time to actually fly. If I flip this over, you can see there is a sensor on the bottom which will help with landing, and then it has some little rubber feet to help keep this from falling on the ground and causing damage. Here on this side, there's a sticker that says it will support SD cards up to 128 gigabyte. I've got one here that is 64, so I'm going to snap that into place. The controller is meant to be used with a phone. You pull out the top here, and it has a spring-loaded phone holder. And there's also a USB right down in here, and that's where you will be using the adapter to go to whatever type of phone you have. So for instance, my phone has a USB-C, so I'll be needing this cable right here to go from here to my phone. On the front, it has a place for the sticks. In order to get to those, they're on the bottom down here. I can simply just pull those out and then screw them into position right here. So we can go ahead and do that since I'm about to take this out for a flight. Picture button up top or video button. You can scroll right here to move up or down the gimbal for recording. You've got your sticks, of course. There is a power button, return to home, speed change, the compass button over here. Now this button over here, you can do a one press takeoff or one press landing on this side. So very cool. Now there is a charging over here. So this USB will be for the charging of the remote. And lastly, the battery. It does have a USB on the side, and you can press the button in the front to see the state of charge on the battery. I brought a power cord up here so we can use the charging adapter that Ruko included. So let's go ahead and plug that up. And then I can use the USB in order to charge up these devices here. So I'm going to plug one up into a USB Type-C, the other one into a battery. I don't know if you can see that, but it has started blinking to show that it is charging. And then I can, for now, I think I'm going to charge up the remote so that we will have the remote and a battery for our test flight. The screen did show that it is charging down here on the bottom. Now this cable wasn't included. It's one that I have around the shop here, but I want to see if I can use that last USB slot there on the charger to then charge this battery. Looks like it is blinking now. So I've got everything charging. Whenever this is full, we will take this out for a test. I let the controller and battery sit, and they are now fully charged. So I'm going to unplug these and we will begin working with this drone. I'm going to hook everything up, turn it on, and see if there's any update for firmware or any of the software on here. So go ahead and take a battery and plug this up to the drone. I've got a cell phone I'm going to connect to the controller here. So just popping up that piece right there. Now before I put the phone in here, I want to grab the correct USB-C to USB-C adapter here. Let's see, I guess it matters which direction it goes. The controller has requested that the TF card inside the drone be formatted. I'm going to go ahead and push submit there, and that will clear out that card and it will be ready for recording with the drone. Navigating around the app is fairly simple. You've got your option to swap back and forth between stills and video right there. Normally you can click this button to go into the SD card. I've got the drone off at the moment, but as you can see, that's where you would view that. You can change your settings by going up here and let's see if it'll let me get into that. There we go. So you can do 4K at 30 or 2.7K at 30 and various options there. You can also change your photo size. Up here you can do the flight distance and altitude and return altitude. Then there's some other options over here. You can change to metric or imperial. And then you can also tell it to track you, and it's pretty cool. Here on the top you can see the satellites, the drone's battery percentage, and then the controller's battery percentage up here. And lastly, you can see what the size of your SD card remaining is right here. I've brought the drone out here on a table. I'm going to turn on the remote control. It's going to start beeping. I've got my phone connected with the app installed. So I'm going to hold down the power button. All right, that's turned on. And now I'm going to hold down the battery button back here on the drone. All right, it's gonna beep for a couple of minutes until the remote is talking to the drone. I'm gonna swap over into video record mode, and then I'm gonna hold the sticks down towards the lower middle, and it should turn the drone on. So the wind does affect the drone some. It is drifting around pretty good. Let's see if I can fly fairly straight here. So I'm just letting it hover here, and I see it drifting around probably between 6 inches to a foot side to side. But it seems to be fairly stable as far as just leaving it where it is. Let's go up a bit higher and see if wind up here will affect it drifting any. It seems pretty stable at the moment. There is perhaps a little bit of drift going on. All right. Let's try out moving the gimbal up and down. Seems there's a little bit of delay here. So for instance, I'm going to move this all the way up and then let go, and now it's moving up. So there is a bit of a delay in that movement there. All right, let's descend here. Landing the drone was actually pretty good. I just hovered over my table, pressed down, and once it landed, it took a second or two before the props turned off, but it was a pretty successful landing. All right, I've turned off the beginner mode, so it should go faster and further and higher. And so let's go ahead and do a bit of a long distance fly around and see how we like it. So I'm gonna hold the sticks down towards the bottom middle and then go up here. Oh yes, it is much faster now. There's actually quite a delay on the signal here. It may be hard for you to see, but it's still going up, and I have stopped a long time ago pressing up here. So that is one thing to keep in mind, that you'll have to watch out, because if you're trying to rely on this screen to get somewhere, it may be that you've already hit something, so keep that in mind. So I've already moved around. Let's see when it picks that up. There we go. I would say the delay is probably, well, let's check it out here. Let's push here and then stop. So what, 7-second delay? So yeah, be mindful of that for sure. Close. I almost fell off the table on that one. So all that flight time and only 20% of the battery and 7% of the controller were used for that. So very cool. So it's actually just now keeping up here. As you can see, the landing is, yeah, it's still going. So basically it struggles to keep up with the time there. Now that I've taken the Ruko F11 Pro 2 drone out for a test drive, let's talk about its features and whether or not this is the right drone for you. So first of all, to get it out of the way, the stuff that it comes with, the carrying case, the connection cables and the charging cables, 2 batteries, the controller, and the drone, they all seem to be made with pretty decent quality, so no complaints there. Flying around for about 10 minutes, and I only use 20% of the battery. So when it says that it will fly for 35 minutes, I feel like that is an accurate statement. I'll have to put this through some more testing to confirm that. But so the things that I like about it, the equipment seems like it's made well. The camera feedback to the controller was a bit of a disappointment. 7 to 10 seconds is the delay on that. So if you're trying to use this to navigate through trees or obstacles, you're gonna have to be very cautious, because by the time you get through an object, the camera is still waiting to catch up. There was also a bit of a drift. If you hover and leave it alone, it'll move a couple of feet to the side. And so as far as setting the drone up in the air to go do a task, it may drift on you pretty good, so you'll have to be careful with that. Probably better off having somebody man the drone while you do the task in the scene, and that way you're not worrying about this drifting off into a tree or some obstacle. But as far as the responsiveness of the controller, if you're looking at the drone line of sight and you're moving around, it seems to move very responsively and quickly. It just has that delay, which was a bit of a disappointment. So this drone retails for about $450. I'll have links to it in the description down below for you to check it out. There are tons more features that I need to test out, but it has a return to home. You can adjust the video and the still image size. So I was recording in the 2K, and you can go up to 4K on the video and up to 6K, I believe, on the picture taking. So lots of good features in this little drone. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.